Hey guys, it's Zoe and today I'm going to be doing my April TBR. It's been a very long time since I've done a TBR. The last time I attempted to film one was January and I didn't get around to filming it until the middle of the month, and then I didn't get around to editing it until the end of the month, so I just scrapped the whole damn thing. So welcome to my first actual TBR of 2021. It doesn't make sense that we're almost in April. Carter is going to be a year old. April 12th. He's gonna be a year old? Fine, I'm emo, it's fine. Anyways, let's move on before I start crying, because it will happen. I'm keeping my TBR pretty short for the month of April, just because I'm trying to get back into filming more and I'm trying to continue writing my own book. So I don't want to overwhelm myself with a TBR that's too big that I will feel obligated to finish. This cat is gonna knock this damn camera over. Bubsy.
What are you doing under there, dude? What are you doing? Where's your toy? You put your toy under the mat. You silly, silly boy. Come here, Betsy.
Anyways, I don't want to overwhelm myself with a TBR that I will feel obligated to finish, because that's just the way I am. When I set a TBR, I have to stick to it or I feel guilty in a way, which makes no sense, but my brain is just like, you're gonna let these books down, and I am powerless to resist that. So I'm sticking to a smaller TBR. Once I finish these, I might pick up more books, I might just focus more on my other things, we'll see. But the goal is to get through at least these books, and I have 5 here, so let's just get into this. The first book that I have is The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. She wrote one of my favorite series, The Queens of Renthia, that I still need to finish. This is a standalone fantasy in a brand new world, so I am excited but wary, because I hate standalone fantasy. There's just never enough. There is never enough world building, there's too many questions. I feel unfulfilled, but I love her writing. So I'm excited but nervous. So this one follows Kreia. 25 years before the events of this book, 5 heroes set out to save the world from this bone maker dude, but only 4 of them came back. The one that died was Kreia's husband. She was the leader of the group, and she's now since dedicated her life to resurrecting her husband using their bone maker magic. The evil dude that they killed, he made an inhuman army using animal bones. So he somehow resurrected these bones, maybe into people, maybe just into like people-animal hybrids. I'm not quite sure. And he tried to take over the world using this magic. So she's like, I'm going to resurrect my husband. I'm going to find his bones and resurrect him. But the catch here is that for every day that he lives, she lives 1 day less. And she's like, that's fine. I'd rather live a whole year with him than 100 years without him. Not thinking that like every day that he lives, she's dying. Is she gonna die and he's on his own? So she's just screwing him in the long run? Or are they both gonna die at the same time? And she's like, but it's so romantic. I don't know. But the thing is, using human bones for magic is illegal. So everything she's doing violates their laws and the laws of nature, because just leave the dead dead. Don't resurrect your husband. Probably not the best idea. I'm just saying. Usually though, in Voss, is that the Voss? Yes. The dead are burned, so you won't use their bones. And any bone maker who's found using human bones will also be burned. I'm assuming alive, because it seems like that would be the way they go. But she knows where she can find his bones, because they weren't burned. They were left on the battlefield where they defeated bad dude, whose name I can't remember. Eklor? A corrupt magician, Eklor. So naturally, she's like, screw the laws of nature, screw the laws of Voss. I want my husband back, and I'm a selfish bitch who's going to violate everything to get him back. And in doing so, she comes across the possibility that maybe the dead don't rest in peace, which is like, honey child, you are disturbing them. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. So all 5 of these warriors, their stories are still intertwined. They're going through some shit. One of them should be dead, but then they kind of figure out that, you know, evil doesn't really stop just because somebody said, the end. I feel like there's gonna need to be a lot of world building packed into 460 some odd pages. Already going into this, we know it's a bad idea. You don't take your husband's bones and be like, here honey, come back home. Like, don't, leave it alone. Leave it alone, dude. You're gonna, oh. some weird shit's gonna happen. Sorry, Bubs. Ooh, wait. Next up is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Madison got me this for my birthday from Princess of Paperback. I'll leave her channel link down below. Do I remember what this is about? No. Lou is a witch, and she took shelter in the city of Caesarine, saying, screw the magic, I'm just going to live off what I can steal. I don't want to be a witch anymore. The thing is, though, in this city, witches like her are hunted and burned and they're feared, and she's like, but I just want to live my life. And they're like, no, we don't want you to live at all. And she's like, well, fuck, guys, I'm not doing anything wrong. And they're like, still, no. And then we've got our good man Reed here, but is he really a good man? Because he lives by one code: thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So he's one of these ones that's out here trying to kill Lou just for living her life. So he sounds like kind of a dick, but I get the feeling that we're supposed to like him. But he sounds like a dick. She's just living her life, dude. Leave her alone, okay? Maybe deal with your own internalized issues while you don't want someone else to live, okay? Yeah, a wicked stunt forces them into an impossible union, holy matrimony. So we've got intense enemies to lovers, to the point where, like, one literally wants the other one dead, and then they are forced into marriage. That can't possibly go wrong. The war between the witches and the church is an ancient one. Unable to ignore her growing feelings, yet powerless to change what she is. A choice must be made. Yes, so we've seen this before. Anyways, moving right along. Next up is a nonfiction. Am I feeling okay? Nonfiction? Who am I? It's Sure I'll Be Your Black Friend by Ben Philippe. It's possibly one of the only nonfiction books I've ever been excited to read, other than Becoming by Michelle Obama, because I typically hate nonfiction. It just doesn't do it for me. Nonfiction and horror and poetry. Those are the three that I'm just like, I'll pass. But hearing about this, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because I've been the black friend. So I'm curious to see how much of this I relate to. So basically it's chronicling Ben's life as the black friend and just where you fit into a world where people want you as the black friend so they can check off a box and make themselves feel better, which is some heavy shit. It's a memoir in essays, it says, in a funny way, of being the black friend, also the foreign kid, the boyfriend, coworker, student, teacher, roommate, enemy in predominantly white spaces. Which, again, I really am curious to see how much of this I'm going to relate to, because I am from a very, very white area, and I have been the black friend multiple times. My town of almost 24,000 people, the last census that was done in 2016, 22,000 of the 24,000 identified as Caucasian. There were 55 black people in the entire town. As a half black person, it was even weirder for a lot of people.
Okay, I need to shower. I'm leaving soon. Okay. Tyson's in his room. Okay. I have like 2 more books to go through. I'll be done soon. The shower won't bother you. I'll just shut the door. I love you.
So this is on sale April 27th. So I'm gonna read it at the beginning of the month, and I'm thinking I will probably do a review, an actual dedicated review to this. Maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on it, it might happen. I don't think I've ever done a sit-down review of a book, but I think I'm going to have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'm already feeling like there's gonna be some things to talk about. What else here? First thing I see when I look back here, the whole swimming thing. No, I can't swim. Oh, also he's Canadian too. Born in Haiti, but he was raised in Montreal. So I'm extra curious to see how much more I'll relate to this coming from a Canadian perspective rather than an American perspective or from any other country in the world, because born and raised in Canada. I've never lived anywhere else. I'm very curious. Okay, let's move on. Next up is a book I've read multiple times and I fucking love it. It's delicious. Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, and I'm quite sure that I'm one of the 1% that actually likes these covers. I know. Controversy. Everybody hates these covers, but I kind of fucking love them. Do I have taste? Probably not, but that's fine. This is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series trilogy, but there's like a 4th novella. As always on my channel, I will not tell you what this book is about because I don't want to spoil anything from the first book for anyone. But the first book follows a girl named Karu who lives in Prague. She's got beautiful blue hair just growing right out of her head. Lucky bitch. She lives a very different life than most people because she was raised by these creatures called Chimera, who are like a mashup of a bunch of different creatures, sometimes human, sometimes not. And she lives in like an in-between kind of space. She doesn't know where these creatures are from. She doesn't know if there's any more of them. She just knows that they're her family and nobody else knows they exist. I don't even know what more to tell you without spoiling it or giving anything away because it's a very weird story and saying anything kind of gives it away. Let me see, what does this say? It doesn't really tell you much of anything. She's an enigmatic art student living in Prague with her Chimera family, and that's it. What does my other copy say? Nothing much. So we don't fucking know anything about it because knowing too much is a bad thing with this one. And normally I hate that because I need to know what it is, what it's about going into it. But this is just like the one where I'm like, you kind of really can't know too much. Anyways, the last book that I have here. I really should not have put these on the ground because by the last one I can't bend like that. Anyways, and it's a fucking brick. To Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. When I say brick, I mean it's over 1,000 pages long. I will be listening to the audiobook only for this throughout the month. I started it a week ago and I'm like half a chapter into it. It's a very, very long audiobook. Listening at 3 times the speed, it's like almost 30 hours long. So this is going to be my month-long project while I am washing dishes, doing laundry, driving, just dicking around playing fucking Solitaire, Farmville, or Candy Crush or something, I don't know. This chunky boy is the last book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, that's the word, which is fantastic. I freaking love it. The first book, The Dragonbone Chair, Shishwan, follows a boy named Simon who's just a kitchen boy, but he gets elevated to the status of apprentice to this guy named Morganes who just knows a lot of shit and can do magic, but he won't teach Simon the magic, which makes Simon very annoyed. What did I do? Wrong one. What he doesn't know is that Dr. Morganes is a member of this thing called the League of the Scroll, who are around to try and, you know, stop bad shit from happening in the world. Some shit goes down and he ends up on a quest for this league after one of the king's sons goes missing. The king has just died, so the older son is becoming the new king, but the older son is a piece of shit and he's ruining everything that this king had built for like a peaceful kingdom. He's like, no, I want to party and I'm gonna tax all of you so I can party and I'm not gonna help you at all, and nobody's happy about it. But then there's some tension between the two brothers. One brother goes missing, Simon goes on a quest because everything goes to shit. The best thing about this series, I wish every series did this, especially fantasy, especially ones where books are giant at the beginning of the second book and at the beginning of the third book. We have a beautiful map, which is a necessity. I get very upset when there's not maps. More importantly, we start with a synopsis of the first book, a detailed several page synopsis, and then we move into a synopsis of the second book, a detailed several page synopsis. Look at that. Beautiful. Telling you the major shit that happened so you don't forget. I still want to read each book over, but it's very helpful in case you miss some shit and it just tells you. Or if you don't want to reread the first 2 books, it's there for you. The gold standard, the shining example, everybody should follow you. Anyways, those are my 5 books for my April TBR. Like I said, if I finish all of these, I will probably add more books onto it, but I really do want to stick to my filming schedule now that I have more energy and I don't feel like complete ass on a stick. And I want to stick to my writing schedule and maybe try and get a fucking blog post out now that I've remembered that I have a blog. Let me know down below in the comments what you are planning on reading this month, if you've read any of these and what you've thought about them, or if that's just too much or you don't have a lot of time, drop some hearts down below in the comments, preferably purple ones because that's my favorite color. Also, I remembered to film the end of a video. Yes, bitch! We are evolving. This is personal growth, okay? I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm 100% patting myself on the back. A bitch remembered something. And if you've ever experienced pregnancy brain, you will understand how big of a win this is, okay? As always, to stay updated with my current reads and how I'm feeling about them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, all at Zoe's All Booked, which I will leave linked down below in the description box, along with the link to my blog that I've finally fucking remembered I have, my Patreon, my coffee, and some other shit down there that I have forgotten about. Also, if you have seen my library reorganization video that went up a couple days before this, the first song that I use in the video is actually a track created by my husband's best friend, my best friend's boyfriend. It's a lovely little family situation we have going on here. He is going to be starting a website service, I think a channel as well on here, with background music and stuff for vlogs. His name is Cody. He's a little bean. He's like my little brother. He's going to be sending me like samples and stuff for vlogs and whatnot that I will be using throughout the next coming however long it is before he starts. And yeah. So if you are interested in finding new music for vlogs and you just don't know where to look, he will be starting that sometime soon. I will leave all of Cody's information linked down below for his Spotify and his what the hell's the word? Instagram. He's got a channel. He has like one actual song out. You might have heard it in some of my other videos, but I will leave all of that stuff linked down below in the description for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and get at least a little bit of uninterrupted reading time. I love you awesome nerds, and I will see you in the next one.